Good morning. I'm out here by Goat Springs, and I'm going to take a break and talk to you about an anime called Narotaro Shadow Star. And before I show you the opening, I'd like to warn you that this story is nothing like it's about to look like.
Because appearances can be deceptive.
Shadow Star Narotaro is almost a contradiction to look at. The opening is drawn in a crayonish style and looks very childlike. And the first episode seems to be very child fantasy-like about finding an imaginary friend. Then suddenly it takes a very, very dark turn and gets ugly fast. We start off with Sheena, a 12-year-old girl, on vacation with her grandparents, trying to swim out to an old mon out in the bay. And she has a near-drowning experience where she spots a very strange creature that's just star-shaped and looks just so cute and cuddly with those big eyes.
You can do it!
Later, she encounters that creature again, and it starts palling around with her. It's usually inert. It looks just like a stuffed doll, and she can leave it on the shelf or sitting in the corner of her room, and it conveniently wanders around as her backpack as well. She names it Hoshimaru, but it turns out Hoshimaru has some other attributes. Among other things, he can flatten out a little bit and turn into a flying surfboard kind of thing.
Hey!
It's all very childlike until she runs into Akira Sakura, a girl from another school, who has a similar, but although different colored, star-like pet.
That's a...
It's channeled with me, linked with my mind.
Huh? Channeled?
She calls this creature a dragon child. As it will turn out, Akira has some keen psychological problems. She likes to play with cutting her wrists, for example, but can't quite get herself to do a full suicide. At almost the same time she meets Akira, she bumps into a very dark character named Kumori.
Komori's figured out how to use his dragon's child for violence, and he enjoys torture and killing.
You're connected to the dragon's child too, right? Don't move. You don't want to split open along with the tree.
Although the series maintains its look as almost a 1950s kiddie cartoon from Saturday morning,
Komori has several other young friends with dragon's children, and they're actively studying ways to make their dragon's children more efficient killers.
in fact, at one point they even take on a small contingent from the Japanese Self-Defense Force.
The dragon's children can assume a great many forms and simulate a great many weapons.
The anime has a total of 13 episodes. They're spread out on 4 DVDs. The 4th DVD concentrates on one of Sheena's friends, Hiroko, who we meet early on, but we didn't have any idea that she had a dragon's child in her apartment. She's got a different problem from Akira. She's being bullied.
But you can! Of course you can. No, 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 no! Hold her down tight. Stop! If you struggle, it'll hurt more. Stop! Stop!
And eventually she's tired of being bullied and uses her dragon's child to put a stop to it. Both in the way Hiroko is bullied and the way she uses her dragon's child to put a stop to it, these episodes are really disturbing. The simplistic, colorful artwork really belies the nature of the story here. The bad news is the Hiroko plotline is really the only one that ever reaches any sort of closure. It's a very frustrating series to watch in its conclusion because it never actually reaches a conclusion. You get to the end and the Hiroko storyline is over, but all the other storylines it introduced, the ones with Satomi and Sudo and Takano, just never go anywhere. There are several characters who are introduced who seem interesting and may or may not have dragons children of their own, but then we never follow up on them, so we have no idea why we had an episode dedicated to them. We have one episode where Sheena actually gets to see a full-fledged adult dragon, and from its reaction we're given the impression that somehow Sheena is special even among those who are owners of dragons children.
She's focused on you.
But again, we never follow up on that. We have no idea where that's going. We can only assume that if this series had run longer, that eventually the producers would have gotten around to telling that part of the story. But as it is, it just leaves a lot of threads dangling. So overall, I'm really glad I watched it. I'm going to give it 4 stars just for its jarring and disturbing manner. But I'd have to take off points for the fact that it actually never reaches a conclusion. But thanks for listening.